So what does the dynamic look like becoming friends before forming a relationship? Should you allow a man to court / take you on dates while forming a friendship, or wait to be courted once a bond has been established? I just find that sometimes dating right away can get convoluted, and I'm not pertaining, and I guess she's not alluding to sexually. Hopefully this makes sense.
All right. I'm just gonna go with what I gathered from that question. So,
Right.
if we're trying to be friends before having a relationship, then no, we don't need to be going on dates. That's not friendship. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think the struggle people have with being friends first is that they don't want that person that they like or have interest in to be seeing other people. And so they put dating dynamics, try to force it into this situation where it's like, yo, now you're crossing the line. If it's that means we hang out when we want to hang out, we talk when we want to talk, we're both free to do as we please. We cannot regulate each other's behavior, who we meet tomorrow, who we entertain, none of that, because we're focused on just being friends. Once we decide we want to now move up a level and actually date, now we can set parameters like, all right, well, let's start to exclusively date, not see other people, if that's what two people agree upon. Because even then, I'm a believer that if you're single, you're free to do as you please. You don't have to see one person if you don't want to. Just be mindful if you can handle that or not. But, you know, getting back to her question, it's just a matter of, you got to put boundaries. And if it's friendship, then it's strictly friendship. It's the same way you would treat any other friend.
I agree with that. I definitely agree. The thing is, I'm possessive, so I'm definitely one of them type of people that y'all. I'm definitely possessed. I don't share pencils. I don't share paper. I don't share men. I don't share. So, but I hear you though. That's actually very good. That's very good. Okay. We got another good one. Hold on. There's another one here. Okay. I like this one. She said, I just got back with my ex. We met 7 years ago and things didn't work out then, but we reconnected recently and I'm completely in love with him with every ounce of my being. Okay. Recently. We are connected in a way that we finish each other's thoughts and sentences. We just got back from vacation this morning and his ex texted him saying that she is pregnant.
Oh, shit.
I can feel I can feel my heart aching in my chest. I thought we would experience this together for the first time. I need advice. Please help.
So, I mean, it's unfortunate news. I don't think anyone would be happy to hear that.
No.
But I don't think that needs to stop the potential of this relationship. I think if what she's saying is true, that there's a real connection there, they got back together, everything is moving great, and clearly this is a bump in the road, an unexpected situation. Don't let that get in the way. And let me just say this. I feel the need to mention this. You know, I have this belief that from a spiritual perspective, when two people are supposed to be together, a lot of times they have a very hard time getting together because the devil, the enemy, whatever you want to call it, is going to interfere in a union that can bring about something better. When people don't belong together, he'll step aside and say, do y'all damn thing. Because he knows trouble is ahead. He knows it's going to end in misery anyway and throw y'all off track. So it's not shocking that her finding this, connection with this man, everything working out, that now this unfortunate scenario is thrown at her. But I don't think she should let that deter her. I think if she's spiritual, I don't know, what her beliefs are, but if she's spiritual, it's time to pray. This is the time to talk to God about, all right, how does he want her to move in this situation? You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Just asking this guy, okay, what is his thoughts as far as how does he want to go about this? What is he thinking? Because I do also want to encourage her that if she's going to be with this man, don't be that woman that discourages him taking care of his child. Like, yo,
no, absolutely,
let the man be a father and do what he needs do, but set proper boundaries so that he can have a healthy co-parenting relationship, but a healthy relationship with her as well.
And I will also say this. I think that if she just found out she was pregnant, that means that y'all might be seeing each other for 1 to 3 months. You know, just going off of me being I had a baby. Okay. I'm saying to myself, 1 to 3 months, y'all in love, y'all finishing each other's sentences. It's all wonderful, fine and dandy. It's really early, and I'm in comfortable situations. You escalate. I mean, you know, you're familiar with somebody, you dated them before, you get into a situation, and now you're hitting the gas pedal at this point, and everything feels like it's so great and so awesome. But take your time. If there's anything you can learn from anything that I've done, take your time, because I feel like sometimes we can get lost in feeling comfortable with somebody that we're not actually seeing who they are today or some of the things that you notice. So really take that time to pray and get into your word, because man, if you get infatuated like that, you know, that means y'all might be doing other things besides praying. Okay, so I'm just saying.
She did say though that they dated 7 years ago. So right. It depends on how long. So they already have, like, it's technically 3 months plus whatever history they have from before. You know what I'm saying?
So they're trying to say stuff.
I'm saying there's a higher level of familiarity in that compared to 2 random people who met for 3 months. But your point is still 100% accurate. Take your time. This is the time to pray. And listen, I think in most situations, if a woman takes a step back,
right,
allows herself to just go within herself, her intuition will tell her what's up. A lot of
That's
times,
true.
It's not that women don't know, it's that they ignore their intuition, that they hold on to what they see and ignore what they're feeling and sensing. Right. They're just not embracing the blessing they have within them to see past the BS, to see past the facades that's presented to them. So if she just, as you said, takes a step back, pray, right, trust that intuition, she'll be fine. She can't get caught up in the craziness of the situation on the surface.
Right. Because I would also say, you know, listen, don't rush into be somebody's stepmom. That's just what I'm saying. You know, look, I know you laughing, but I'm don't rush into that. That is not an easy role. You coming in early and he's hit with that text message. I also feel like it's important to see people through stressful situations. I don't feel like you really know somebody until you go through something stressful with them and see how they handle the situation. And so there may be a lot you can learn from it, but I'm just saying, take your time. Make sure that you are clear about how you're moving forward, because this does sound a lot like infatuation, and anybody can feel like your husband in 3 months. I'm just saying.
Now, I'm going to dispute that real quick.
What? Okay, go ahead, hit me.
Let me tell you. All right. Because I'm a firm believer that love doesn't take time.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so at all. I think that when you sit down and you talk to people who have experienced a genuine connection, they all talk about how instantaneous it was. Even if they didn't understand completely what was going on, first conversation, first couple of days, they knew something was there that was not there with anyone else. All right. I believe that for many people, when they need more time, they're just trying to get comfortable with the situation, or they're even trying to grow to love someone, which is actually the wrong way to go about it. So in reality, it can happen that fast. I think, again, this goes back to, you got to see the difference between, as you mentioned, infatuation and connection. Right. Infatuation is very surface driven. All right. It's, oh my God. So for example, woman meets a man. Let's just say this scenario, man's a 6-figure earner. He does well, good looking, no kids. Like, his resume is on point. So she's running home. Oh my gosh, I met this great man. We had a great conversation. Boom, boom, boom.
Right.
And that relationship stays on the surface, and that's what she's locked in on. She's locking in on the fantasy of it all, what she dreams of this becoming. But ignoring the fact that y'all never really got deep into each other to know who have you shown yourself at your core? Because if you haven't been yourself, don't expect to have seen himself. Don't expect his true self if you're holding back. All right.
I
So
agree with that.
is that two people who have a connection can be themselves, are very open. They go deeper within each other. This can occur very quickly. You know what I'm saying? And it can be genuine. So I do think that I'm not concerned about the 3 months.
You're
I
not.
want her to make sure this is that connection versus she's just happy to have a man right now. Everything seems good, and now she's getting thrown off by this baby situation.
I mean, well, thrown off is that's not a bad thing to be thrown off about. That's where I'm at. Listen, I won't be mad at you if you say, listen, I'm not ready to be somebody's, to jump into the situation. I'm actually the opposite believer. I think that love takes time. I think that you can feel like you're love somebody for a while. You can feel like that for 3 to 6 months, but I think love is a choice. I choose to love you even when I don't feel like it. There's going to be times in marital situations where you don't necessarily feel those butterflies and love feelings, but I'm choosing to love you anyway. I'm choosing to stay loyal to you and be your companion in good, bad, ugly, those kind of things whenever I find that, but I'm just saying, that's what I think. I think love takes time.
So my thing is this, to me, we don't choose to love, we choose to express love. All right. Okay. Love exists within itself. Love is spirit. Love is God. Love is energy. It's already there. All right. Okay. It's within us. And then we choose who we give it to. Now, being in love to me or having a connection is when what I believe is our spirit recognizing our match. Because, they say things happen in the spiritual before they happen in the physical. Yes. The spirit already knew what was up. And so put it like this. When I say love doesn't take time, if we believe God is love, yes, God needs 3 months to tell you who's for you? You think God? No, God knows from the jump who's for you and who's not. So the reality is that this person being for you and that connection being there, it's either there or it's not. It can't be created. It doesn't come about over time. It's either there or it's not. What takes time for many people is the embracing of that reality or the accepting that love isn't really there. Because now going back to that example of we're married, we don't always have those butterflies. The reality is that a lot of married people, they ain't got the butterflies because they was never really in love. They was infatuated. They had an unhealthy attachment. They had other things that brought them together. And so now they got to try to force themselves to express love. But even in those moments when they're quote unquote giving their partner love, you ain't giving them love. You're just giving him obligation. You're just doing what you don't want to hear her nag today. You just don't want to be the bad guy. You see, the driving force behind that person's action isn't actually love.
No, I get that.
You know what I'm saying? Their intent isn't about pouring into you. Their intent is to shut you up. Their intent is to manipulate you into giving them what they wanted. Their intent has nothing to do about your well-being. It's about serving them. You see what I'm saying? But on the surface, it looks like love because we've attached certain actions to, oh, well, that person must love them. No, like, for example, there could be a man right now who's with a woman doing all this sweet stuff, right? And someone will look at that and say, oh my gosh, he loves her so much. No, he don't. He's trying to trap her ass because he knows that in the end, he's trying to get what he wants. He don't give a damn about how she feels. He don't care about her well-being. He cares about manipulating her. Now, this isn't to say every dude showing love is manipulating. It's just to say love cannot be evaluated on the surface because it starts from the spirit. And it's intent. The surface is just action. You know what I'm saying? You never know what's driving that action. Why? And I'll swing it back to you, which is why people got to get in touch with their spirit. Because again, you know how they say real recognize real. Well, I always say fake fall for fake. We don't know who we are, so we get fooled by people who are manipulating us. Right. Loving ourselves, so we get fooled by people who don't truly love us. When we fortify that within ourselves, we'll see that much more clearer, and our spirit will pick up on what's not right and what's off in this situation. But so many people are detached from their spirit. they can't see real love for what it is. And
Mm-hmm.
instead label all kinds of things the wrong, they put love on the wrong things, essentially.
So, okay. So in my personal experience, I
Mm-hmm.
know I was married in 6 months. I was engaged 2 and 3, and in my situation, that person told me from day one, like, you're my wife, we're going to get married, we're going to have kids, you going to bounce back. Like, I remember the first date.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that a lot of me was like, oh my gosh, it's so intentional, da, da, da. And I definitely felt more comfortable feeling however I felt in that situation. And so now I think that, when things kind of came together, I don't really know. How do you know when it's love? How
Okay.
do you know the difference if you don't?
So notice what you just said in your scenario.
Mm-hmm.
You were taken aback by his intention.
Yeah.
We're taken aback by his expression of love. All right.
Yeah.
What seemed to be love at that time. So
Yeah.
again, this is where a lot of women fall down the wrong path or get with the wrong person, because they're evaluating, well, this man seems to love me so much, this is safe here, let me choose this. But if it was really love, if it was connection, you would feel something within you first. It wouldn't even be based off of his intention. You
But
would feel something within yourself stir up that was like, yo, what the hell's going on here? Why do I feel like this around this man? Why am I so vulnerable with this man? Why am I so open with this man? There'd be this natural occurrence within you that's not really predicated on him, so to speak. Just talking to him and being in his presence would have pulled things out of you that said, damn, something's here. But so that's why I always tell people, when you're trying to determine if someone truly loves you, first ask yourself, are you truly in love with them? Because they cannot truly be in love with you if you're not in love with them. True love and connection is a two-way experience. It's not one way. All right? Because we need a reciprocal transfer in order for that love to really exist and be there. And when I say reciprocal, again, we both got to feel it. So when I sit down with two people who say they have a connection, they
yeah.
both can tell me they feel that connection. You see what I'm saying? Whether I sit with them separately or together, they both can say, yo, this, I felt it right away, boom, boom, boom. It's both sides. When I have a situation where one person's like, yo, I feel so strongly, and the other person's like, yeah, I don't know, boom, boom. It's like, no, this isn't, this something else is
Right.
here. But to get back to your question, it starts within you. And that's why it's so important, why I'm so big on healing. When you haven't healed, it's much more likely you're going to end up in the wrong relationship. It's much more
Yeah.
likely to
I agree.
see through certain things.
Yes.
When you have, it's easier to know if love really exists here or not. But again, the reality is that most people are in the wrong relationship. So this is just a common occurrence.
I think it's very interesting that you said that, because I think that, when you talk about like certain things, I can understand. I think that a lot of times we do go with what we feel is safe, or what we feel like we should be doing, or what we feel like we should be in, especially women. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just what we do. And a lot of times it's not even based on the man at all. It's based on the quality. Like, we think about, oh, we're 30. Oh, we need to settle down. This looks good enough. I don't feel everything I want to feel, but
Damn.
you know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
you're getting into a space of like, I'm qualifying this person at a necessity, or what I deem as a necessity, versus what I actually like, the connection I actually feel with this person, that I'm really tied to them, that are, our spirits. Because I do believe we're spiritual beings. I do believe, I don't obey God. I always talk about this, and this is not my spiritual thing, but I always say that my obedience to God has nothing to do with me being afraid of him. My obedience to God is because I love him and I don't want to hurt him with my actions. I just think about like hurt my father seeing me do something bad, and I not something bad that would hurt me, but something that would hurt him, and I don't want to do that. And so I think that when you said that, I think that's very true. I think that sometimes we get into relationships and we do things like, I don't want to hear her mouth, like, instead of doing it because I love this person, so I'm going to do these things for them because of that. But one thing you did say that I think is interesting is that you said that you felt like, if, let's say, someone So you don't think one party can be in love and the other one is not?
No.
Wow, that's interesting.
No, that is an unhealthy attachment. That
An
is
unhealthy attachment.
yes, unhealthy attachment. Because again, so okay, let me give you a scenario real quick. I had a client one time, and she came to me looking for help, and she's like, "I'm so in love with him, man. I don't know what to do, but you know, he's not willing to fully commit." And I'm like, "All right, tell me what's going on."
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly it was a dude. Now I'm throwing this detail in, even though it's not really relevant, but I'm just going to add this detail. He just got out of prison, so she was down with holding him down while he was in prison. Comes out, whatever. He's still holding him down. They've been together, and he's not really pouring into her. So I said, "Yo, why do you love him?" And she said, "You know, I do this for him, and I do." She ran off all these things she did for him, and I said, "Listen, you just told me everything you do for him, but what the hell does he do for you?" And she paused, and she was like, "He doesn't really do anything." And I said, "Okay, you cannot tell me you're in love with someone who pours nothing into you. That doesn't work that way, all right?" And when I say doesn't pour into you, it's not even about them taking an action. If you don't even feel safe around this man, so his spirit doesn't pour safety into you. His spirit doesn't pour peace into you. So before he even physically puts his hands on, I'm saying, touches you, talks to you, whatever, you don't even feel good in his presence, yet you're telling me you're in love? No. You are attached to your investment that you made in this man. You
Wow, that's good.
You've been hoping for a return on your investment. You're saying you're in love.
That's good.
You do not want to let go. You know what I'm saying?
Right, that's good.
And also the reality is that a lot of women and men too, they use the label of love to validate staying where they don't belong. Because they know if she says to you, "I don't want to let go because I gave him so much," then people would say, "Let his ass go." But if I say to you, "I don't want to let go because I'm in love," then you might try to coddle me and be more compassionate and patient with me. We buy ourselves more time from people's pressure to leave a situation if we claim the love card. You know what I'm saying? So people use that as a defense mechanism, but it's not love going on there. So no, if it's a one-way deal, it's not true love. You may have, and understand this, at the very least, you can still show love to someone, because love is not just constricted to a relationship, romantic relationship. So show love to anybody in this world. But when we're talking about in love and connection, that has to be a two-way street. There's no way. No way.
So I have a question. Another one. No, I'm not even asking a question. I'm just going in. Listen, I'm a therapist, so this is interesting. I like this. Okay, so anyway, my question is this. If you feel like you're with a man or someone is with a man like tonight that's watching, that person that they're with does not make them feel secure. They don't feel like they can trust them. They don't feel like that person is like they're questioning a person's loyalty as we speak, but they're with them. Do you feel like they actually love that person, or is that an unhealthy attachment to someone they shouldn't be with?
So so it starts with, did you ever feel safe with him? So there are some situations where if a woman steps back and really thinks about it, she never had that peace and comfort around this man. She got caught up in the hype of who he was or who she thought he was and the fantasy of it all. Right. And so in that scenario, no, this is not love, all right? In a different scenario, it may have been that there was peace, there was love, but people make mistakes. And in those mistakes, yes, that can create insecurity, that can create a lack of peace. So this is a scenario where now we have to address the issue first. We should not just and say this isn't love because now you don't feel peace because you once did. But if you never really did, then no, then why are we here?
That's good. That's good. Okay, so let me get to the question because I have another question, but I'm not gonna be disrespectful, y'all. You know how I am. I'll just get into the lost in conversation. Okay. When do the games stop, i.e. multiple partners, disrespect, etc.? Valuable and vulnerable good women or men just want to live a life of peace, laughter, and love. So I guess the question is, when do the games stop? Multiple partners, disrespect, etc.
The games stop when you stop tolerating the games.
Hello, that's what I'm about to say. Come on now.
Like, so let me say it like this too. The games there will always be people playing games. I think one of the mistakes that individuals are making is they're hoping for a life where people will do right by them, where people will hold themselves to a higher standard. And I'm like, all that. I know we live in a jacked up world. I know that there's grimy, shady people everywhere. I don't expect anything from anyone. I simply navigate life how God wants me to navigate it, and I deal with things when they show themselves. And if you show me that you're playing games, I will remove your ass from my life. End of story. We don't have to keep going back and forth. We ain't got to do none of that because I ain't got the time and energy for it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
that like, Northern came out strong in that one. That New York just came. He said, I ain't with it. I like it. Okay, keep going.
But yeah, like, that's it. Like, we got to get to a point where we should go on that. Like, yo, stop waiting for people to stop playing games. Just when you see it, don't entertain it. Keep it moving. That's it. That's all you can do because there's going to always be people who want to engage in nonsense, no matter what.
Period. That's so. I mean, that's. I'm going to tag on to that. I always say that people are people. You can't trust people. Only person I've learned to trust is God. You can't trust people. So even in relationships, I don't go in necessarily all about, because people are going to fail you, even the people that you love. It's just what it is. We make mistakes. I may be in a situation with somebody. I might hurt their feelings unintentionally. They may hurt me unintentionally. It is what it is. But I think that when you trust God, I feel like everything will be revealed in its proper time, as long as you're being in tune with your spirit or being in tune with your relationship with God. Because God, you're going to find out things without even trying to find out. Like, you're going to be a part of conversations that you weren't even supposed to be a part of about what people's intentions, true intentions are for you. And you know, you got to be prepared to move when you see those things. But Absolutely. Some people just don't move. And
that's it. We gotta be honest with ourselves about the fact that we let things slide too much. We see things, we don't address it. You know, we're afraid to let go. And again, I would argue, I always say, women don't get played, women play themselves. All right?
Really?
Yes, because 99 times out of 100, a woman sees something. She senses something. Listen, a man could sneeze different tomorrow, and y'all will pick up on that shit. I'm sorry, excuse my language, but y'all will.
No, you good. You good. You know be real. You know what I'm saying? There you go.
So it's like y'all don't miss. Y'all catch the details, but y'all don't want to face and I say y'all. A lot of women don't want to face the reality of what that detail means. You know what I'm saying?
True, though. It's real. It's very real.
Don't want to accept that this will mean you have to let him go. You don't want to accept that this will mean he's doing you wrong, or that you're dealing with the wrong person, or that you're still in love with your ex, or whatever the case may be. There's all kinds of things going on with people. They don't want to have to face it, so they ignore what they pick up on. But women rarely miss every red flag. I don't, honestly, I've never seen it. I'm just going to leave the possibility open because you can never say never, but it's extremely rare for a woman to not pick up on something.
No, we do. I believe that we pick up on every little thing, but I think it is a sense of like, you know, and I hate to, you know, bring up religion, but that's just kind of where I go to with it. Is like, we get into this forgiveness, like, okay, we forgive, right? We want to, like, you know, I believe we forgive in the metric in which we should forgive others with the same metric that God forgives us. Like, that's how he measures the way he forgives us, is how we forgive other people. Absolutely. But I do think that we can get lost in that and use that as an excuse to stay in something that's unhealthy and allow boundaries to be crossed over and over and over again, and still try to expect and really cut ourselves by trying to expect what you've never experienced by one person. Like, oh, he gonna do me right this time, girl. I remember I was 19. I thought listen, he might have cheated on me, like someone was paying him to do it. But today, Lord, it's over with. But he ain't never demonstrated the ability to be faithful. Yet I kept trying to believe that he could. And maybe I think investment causes attachment. You know, that's what I was taught.
That is 100%. So one, we have to understand that we can forgive. It doesn't mean we got to keep them in our lives.
Period.
So I forgive you. Forgiveness is about, I'm not holding on to this negative energy anymore. I'm accepting it for what it is. We're moving past it. But we can still say, okay, you know what? You still show me you are not qualified to be in a relationship with me. You still show me you are not ready for a healthy relationship. So I have to remove you, but I can forgive you. What is so important about investment creates attachment. That's the thing that is even more, it happens more with women. Women struggle to walk away from what they invested in. A lot of women rather sink with the damn ship than to leave that boat. and it's like, yo, because, I gave so much time and energy. And in some situations, it's the investment gets you attached. Or you have women literally holding on to a man right now. Another woman came into the picture and they don't want to feel like they lost to the other woman. It's not even about the man at this point. It's the competition between her and this other woman and feeling like I can't let her win. So I have to keep holding on to this trash man just to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is literally happening so much. And there's various other reasons, but definitely investment creates a lot of unhealthy attachment.
Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. I can just look at some relationships and know immediately those two people don't belong together. And sometimes looks can be deceiving, right? Not in the sense of me getting it wrong, but in the reality that sometimes it looks good on the surface,